I'm working from home, but like, girl, I can't focus.
Why can't you focus?
Okay, so like last night we didn't have tribal or anything.
Hmm.
But like a lot of conversations like did happen and like my mind's been like kind of racing. So like before like all six of us were on the call, I'd spoken individually with Maddie and Rachel, like really only, which to be honest, in a tribe of six where it seems like everybody's pretty active, that just didn't seem like enough before like tribal were if like were to happen, right? Like, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you can't like not think that you're like going to tribal until right before. So
Hmm.
in my mind, I was just like, all right, like I've only heard from the two of them. Everybody else is buddy buddy, but this is just so like not as much as I thought I should hear. And then like we were on the call afterwards, and Marcelo was like retelling all the stuff that happened at their tribals, and I knew like having sat at the one tribal they were at, like that all five of them were there, they were all active. I knew it was a blind side and everything, but like the fact that all three of those tribals were like kind of intense. Marcelo received no votes at all of them, and like somehow avoided like an idol play, like really kind of made me like aware of like him as like a player, like he's in here, he was like essentially praying for a swap, like was like basically spilled to me and Robin about like how close he and Mona were. Like it's like, all right, like this guy's like clearly like on it. And then Rachel called me like in the middle of my class, and I like left my class to talk to her because I know she was going out, like I didn't want to miss it or anything. And she in that, like, I don't know if she like doesn't care to say it or like slipped up, but like mentioned that she was like visiting Marcelo, right? Like, which for me, I'm like, okay, like I don't I don't like me and Rachel aren't like close or anything, right? But like, the fact that we're like building rapport or anything like that, like that makes sense to me, like why she would like want to come visit me in Boston, maybe after this game is all said and done and we like continue to be friends. But like the fact that she already has that with Marcelo, like, all right,
Does it make you more aware of, because you're like new in this community of like uh open identity orgs, right?
yeah.
Did that make you aware of, okay, maybe there's relationships around me that I'm not necessarily privy to?
Oh yeah, completely. And like, okay, like I don't play a lot of these, but like I don't know. Like you could like people launched on the call yesterday talking about like ascendance this, I play this, like
Hmm. Hmm.
whatever. Like I'm like, okay, but like y'all know each other. And like it was similar on the other tribe too. Like I could tell that Sam and Julia like freaking probably know each other as well. So like I'm not stupid. Like I know that all this stuff is going on, but it's like kind of just really sitting in with me that like I have a little bit less agency than I thought, right? Like I'm like, okay, like these people, like if it were me, I of course wanted to like go towards working with Rachel. Heck, like I wanted to go towards working with Jess as well. Like when it was time, but I like couldn't put my neck on the line for Jess, right? Like because that was what the other tribe was going. Like, I'm here, I'm present in this game. Yeah, like I don't know. And it's like clicking with me that like, all right, like before that tribal, I probably didn't have I don't know that I would have been like voted out or anything. Just because like again, I already had that like touch base with Rachel, had that touch base with Maddie to where like I might have been on the know if it like went towards Izzy, but like it could have also very easily been like me. And that doesn't like sit well with me like at all, obviously. And like our confessional yesterday, like I don't know, like really sitting here and like hashing it out and thinking about my position in the game with you, I was just like, yeah, I am on the outs, of a potential Saphiro 3. And now if like Rachel and Marcelo are so close that they're going to go like visit each other in Kiki in New York after playing a game together for 5 days, I just don't know. So I'm like,
So are you probably more stressed-ish right now, which is why you can't focus more so than you've been in the game so far, even with being on Ametista and losing
uh,
2 times?
yeah, like I'm woken up. Like this is like fully like going on, right? Like, and I knew that like you can tell with Owen's last vote, it's probably because he was like on the inactive side. But I feel like that's the last real one of those that we're gonna see. You know, everybody else is here pretty much. If our tribe went to tribal, it would not have been an inactive person going home by any means, right? So yeah, it makes you want to like vomit.
So
Like,
what is your course of action like other than winning immunity?
yeah. So
If what you're saying holds weight, you know?
yeah, I mean, if what I'm saying is true, what the situation is that we have Rachel, Maddie, and Robin as a potential Zafiro 3, but from the conversations with them, that 3 is not real. They like had basically all said like we never got past the surface, we never had to vote anybody. So I'm like, okay, like Robin's saying that she hasn't really called one-on-one with anybody yet. It seemed like yesterday too, like she was just like getting on a call, like excited to be there. Got to take that with a grain of salt as well. But then like if Rachel is connected to Marcelo and like I don't know, beyond that, like I know that Rachel plays a bunch of these. Like I'm not stupid. Like Robin was saying that she plays a bunch. Like it probably runs way deeper than that. So I like cannot rely on like the Rachel, Maddie, whatever that I thought I could rely on. Definitely not. Why am I raising my hand? Anyway, I'm Italian. I speak with my hands.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, can you tell by my chain that I'm from New
It's
Jersey?
funny. I thought the emblem on your shirt, the way it was sitting at the start, it looked like it was like a charm on the
Oh,
necklace.
like, and this is
Yeah.
my idol? No.
Yeah. um, okay, so with this realization, where do you think, other than winning immunity, like you can
So
maneuver, go to? What's the plan of action here?
I need to really talk to Izzy first of all, and also I think Robin would be a good one to talk to. She seemed like the most willing to really do stuff. She kind of said that explicitly, but my course of action. So Marcelo mentioned that there was a hermit, right, at one of the tribals. To me, it was me, Robin, and Marcelo on the call. And the face crack of me like sitting there, we were on cam. I don't think like I'm pretty sure we were on cam. We were just like all like voice chatting before everybody like came on and took a picture together on cam.
Mhm.
This was like before that. And so he was like mentions a hermit, and I'm sitting there like silent, like that's crazy. So I feel like I can go with Robin and be like, hey, like leveling with you, me and you are very similar, which is true. Like me and Robin, like getting like to know each other, both city people, both smoke, pretty chill, clearly smart. Like I think that would be smart. And if I'd be like, hey, like Marcelo said this about the hermit, and if I let Robin know some of the stuff that like I picked up on at that tribal with them there about how like it was all buddy, Marcelo's a gamer or whatever. If I keep like kind of like pushing that, I feel like I can get Robin more on my side. And then I feel like Izzy, I've already talked to a little bit one-on-one, but I feel like if I can just get like a really solid, like strategic conversation with her and like lock that in as well, then we have a 3. I mean, from there, now it's like tricky, right? Because like I said, I don't think that they would vote me before this. I'm like, they could blindside me, right? I don't want anyway. Um, like, but I have an idol, so that's one thing I can use. I just don't want to. So I'm like, if I can get the 3 of us on the same page and we can figure out a way to like get those 3 that are not in that, from inside or something. Like, you think
Hmm.
I'd have to
Hmm.
like split the vote, or like, I don't know, like, I mean, I'll go 3-3. I don't really care, but I feel like, get the two of them to like split their votes, and the three of us 3-2-1 it, like, makes sense. If I have to play an idol, I would. But again, I'm like torn of if they would play it on me, or not play it on me, if they would like vote for me or vote for Izzy. And then it's a whole question of like, what do you do with it? And I'm just like, so I'm like, all right, if I turn it up a little, get a little loud, try to make this move. If I do need to play the idol, it makes it almost more certain to play it for me because I'm louder, right? Like,
Hmm. Hmm. I smell you.
I'm just like,
Have you spoken
my
to
head was
Izzy?
spinning. My head is spinning, and then work doesn't help because things keep coming in for this, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. You're really in the thick of ice survivor now.
oh my god,
Now you know what everybody else went through. Michael, Devin, Lance.
oh my god, like, and it was fine up to this point. It was totally fine up to this point, but like all the red flags are there. Like Sam, before we swapped, was like wary about Rachel. And I was like, oh, like, I know her though. I like her. Like, why would I, stay wary? But now I'm like extra wary. And I'm like, all right, like, if it's one
And
time,
was this, and wait, was this on the call? But like when you guys, I saw you guys on call last night, but I was with my father-in-law doing family shit. Then we went to dinner. So I didn't get to hop on mostly any call last night or yesterday, period. Um,
yeah.
what
So a
was
lot of it
said?
was
Like
last night. So
what did Rachel say exactly?
So Rachel wasn't okay. So the call with me and Rachel was that I was in class, right? I like literally took a quiz, went to class, and Rachel was like, I'm going out. So do you want to call before I go out? Like my friend's on her way here. And I was like, all right, I'll give you 10 minutes. I left my class. I literally like up and left, and I went outside and I spoke to her on a park bench. And like I was like, we were talking a little bit, and she'd mentioned previously in our like DMs, our like little PMs, that she and like, like about her like trip or whatever. And then she was mentioning, yeah, let me go to my one-on-one with Rachel, where she was talking about how she was like going to come travel with me, and then she was going to meet Robin and Marcelo. I'm like, all right, you've known Robin for 2 weeks, but you've known Marcelo for 3 days. It's kind of weird to like go visit him. And then like we were on the call, and she was like talking about like, oh yeah, like our old Zafiro tribe wasn't really close, but like Maddie really likes you too. And then she was like mentioning like, yeah, I'm so excited, to like come up to Boston, blah blah blah. I mentioned her trip again, and I'm like, all right, like doing some math here. I'm doing some math here.
Do you, do you think what do you think about Owen being the first Zafiro voted out? Do you think that trickles throughout any of the other tribes?
I mean, I okay, from what it sounded like, Owen was like a busy individual, right? And I don't know that none of them confirmed with me that like he was like the vote or anything, but like it seems like he was like the inactive vote. That being said, if all of Zafiro never went to tribal and they were all buddy buddy surface level the entire time, like I could see them all still being like, all right, like we can all still gel together, come back together. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So where does John go from here? I know you mentioned it a little bit, but talk it
I-
out.
I'm trying not to throw up in the sink is what our first move is. Um, okay. My course of action, I think is I need to get on the same page of Izzy, make sure we're both like woken up. We've only really talked personally. We've said we like each other, we vibe, we want to like stay with that. And instead of like trying to make her like an easy scapegoat for me to like get through one more round and then see what happens. No, I feel like there's no time like the present. Like I need to like get her with me, make sure like, hey, like we're in trouble,
Question.
sister. We're in trouble, sister.
If y'all lost, where do you think the direction of your vote and this tribe was gonna go last night?
At the time, Izzy. Now, me or Izzy.
And
But
was
it's
Izzy aware of this, do you think?
she had to be aware of something. Like nobody's not talking to her. Yeah, it could have been me. I really think so. And it's like when you sit there and you're realizing it, like, thank God I stood on my freaking head.
Got you. How many points was that?
Too, but like it's
Still
it's
got
50
got
to
you those
me.
extra 2 points, you know?
Yeah. No, but it's right because yesterday I was just like I was feeling good in that like, all right, like I heard from Maddie and Rachel that they both liked and wanted to work with me. And like that was like, like a good enough start of things. And then we just like all ended up on a call together right before tribal, which was just like, you can't do anything with that. So I'm like really sitting here afterwards, and I was just like, I was going into tribal with 20 minutes left to go with no solid plan from a majority of the tribe. And that to me, after really sitting on it, did not feel good. Like I have agita, like I still feel like this is helping, like I'm letting it out. But
Do you think that all your tribe was like sort of in that same predicament, or was something else occurring? What's your gut saying?
it's again, I before really thinking about it would have just assumed that though it would be easiest for those three to stick, like the three being the Zafiro ones to stick together. And then like there was a point where me, Marcelo, and Izzy were on a call alone when like people were kind of coming and going last night. And Marcelo was like, I was like so nervous to come into this by myself. And then I saw the like, oh, that the two of you are in the same predicament, which was like a nice thing for him to say. But now, like, really sitting on here, I'm like, you see my hand shaking? Like, I'm like, he's like a gamer. And like again, he was at the vote. It was a plurality, like 2-1 to 1 vote. He got nothing off scotch free from that tribal, if I wrote things down right. Yeah, yeah, I know he didn't get any votes at that messy one. And then they had three like like he literally like recounted the whole thing that happened with like between Sean, Julia, and Shemayam. So I'm like, well, if before that Marcelo was going to be with Mona and Shemayam and have a three with like, yeah, like I'm sorry, I'm not making coherent sentences, but I'm really just like figuring this out.
Don't worry, that's what confessionals are for.
You guys are probably like, why does he want one so early? And I'm like, because I'm freaking the fuck out.
Honestly, I was. So like the episode just started. I got to make some time for John. He has something to say. Rocky, I know you just got here not long ago. Did you have any questions or something you want to throw at John?
Hi. I noticed you came in halfway through.
Yeah, I don't know what you said already, so I don't like want to make you repeat yourself. But I just like to say overall, like as this being like your first game, um, how are you feeling? Is this anything that what you thought when Sandy like talks about iSurvivor and stuff? Like, I mean, I know you know Lance and stuff too, so he's played. So, but is this like anything like what you thought it would be?
Okay, I will say, like, I always like Lance is a very dramatic person. So I was just like, okay, like whatever, like I
Oh,
hear
he
you.
is. I
Yeah,
love Lisa.
very dramatic. So I was just like, all right, like sure, like these games get stressful, like whatever. Like I totally get that. I watched the show, like I get it, right? But and then I was like come into it and I was just, I think Sandy leading into it was a lot more of like the like, meet other people, their communities thing. Great game or whatever. Talking to everybody now, like, I mean, I'm like, I knew you guys had like a great production. I knew you guys had like good casting and everything, but this is like level 100 or whatever number makes it like going. Like, yeah, yeah. And I mentioned this to Sandy before. Like, I again, I like knew of other orgs, I knew of other communities and everything. I knew that other people played them. People were very open yesterday about like, you know, Ascendance this, I've played this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, like I know people come into it. I got a feeling once we were like leaving the old Ametista tribe, just from like little things that like Julia and Sam you would say, like I kind of could tell that they also knew each other beforehand. Like, you know, like you really got to read between the lines on stuff. You really do, because like the fact that they were so like gutted about like freaking Bill going home. Why do you care about this 30-year-old Taylor Swift fan? Why? Like, what is it like? But now I'm like, okay, no, it's like there's like onions have layers. Like this is
So in an ideal world, other than winning immunity and staying safe, what do you hope to accomplish in your game in episode 7?
okay. So we're gonna like assume worst case scenario because you have to, right? Like this not knowing before 20 minutes thing is like not gonna fly, right? Because plans aren't created in 20 minutes, right? Like you don't I'm not gonna be talking to freaking Robin and Izzy at 9 p.m. tomorrow after I just watched an episode of Survivor thinking that a plan is gonna come together. That's not the case. So I need to like really hash it out and talk to them. I mentioned to Robin, I'm gonna like mention the hermit thing because Marcella brought it up in front of the two of us, and I'll be like, I didn't want to say anything, but like I want you to know that this is what happened, and I saw that Marcella was thicker than thieves with those people, right? Like they were all talking about loyalty this, strength this, or whatever, and then blindsided Julia, and then like was then in on it 3-1 on Thomas, and like luckily we got rid of one of those numbers with like Shemayim going, but like he's in it, and if he's friends with Rachel, that's a problem. That is a problem. So I do think I need to take care of that now. I need to like talk to Izzy. Robin said that we would have a one-on-one when she got back, so I fully intend on like making sure Robin knows like, hey, like vibe wise, we're good, but also like here's what I want you to know, because she seemed like she like is willing and capable of doing something, you know, like she doesn't seem like
They.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Like they don't seem like they're like so as attached to Maddie and Rachel from what it sounded.
I'm excited to see where your game goes this episode. It sounds like the wheels are turning, John. Don't get too stressed. Don't get too stressed.
It's you know when all of your thoughts are just like at the front of your head, and it's just like and I just need somebody to come like take an ice pick and just like, and it'll
relieve the pressure. Let the
oh my god, I would love to be lobotomized tonight.
Oh, you have anything else you want to say, John? I know it's getting juicy for you. So if there's anything else you want to get off your chest.
I think this was helpful. I just really need to talk to Robin and Izzy and like make sure they're on the same page. And I think that as long as I have voiced those things to them, even if we lose, right, and we go to tribal and the two of them decide to vote the three of them against me, well, then I've already gotten the ball rolling and I can save myself. And that's it, right? And then at least the ball is rolling that the three of them are like at least already united. That's my worst case scenario. Is like
if that worst case scenario occurs and you do end up with majority of the votes and you do play your idol, who's the move against?
I've already thought about this. If I was voting right now, it would probably be for Marcelo. But, and I know that like, I know that she and like, I like have a sort of like before this relationship, but like Rachel kind of has to go. The only reason I don't want Rachel to go is because on the previous tribe, Sam said that he like was already sick of Rachel. So I'm like, okay, like you can maybe like, I don't know if Rachel's still here. That's like another thing for later. But I don't know. I feel like if I was voting today, it would probably be on Marcelo, because then once that is out of the equation, like again, last night, Maddie and Rachel were willing to work with me, and then like Izzy and Robin would be there as well. And it would give me more options. I need options.
I need options. That's a good episode title.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to be lobotomized.
That too, honestly. Let me go type that in our episode titles. Thank you, John. You're all
No,
good for
thank
episode
you.
7,
I
but
can.
if you need more confessional time in the future, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I need to like muster up the courage to more record it myself. Doing the whole like posting it unlisted on YouTube kind of scares me, but like
Oh yeah, nah, don't worry. That's what I'm here for.
yeah, all right.